Hello and welcome to What's On at Cineworld Cinemas. I am Luca and I'm joined by Laurie Blake, and here's what's coming up on today's show.
We'll be looking at the latest trailers for the Suicide Squad and Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins.
Find out how you can get tickets to see Black Widow, which you can also see on 4DX.
Dan later will be taking us through what 4DX is and what you can expect when you sit in your seat.
And as always, we'll be taking you through what you can check out this week at Cineworld Cinemas. But first, Laurie Blake, it is brand new trailer week here, which is always a glorious time for any film fan. And the first trailer we want to discuss as well is the third trailer we've had for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Now, the first two trailers we got were bloody affairs. They were very big and gory, and particularly the second trailer was all built around King Shark and doing all the comedy stuff with Sylvester Stallone, all of that sort of stuff, and the outrageous gore, and the big shot we got at the end of the kaiju and stuff. This one was like our first story trailer for the Suicide Squad and letting us know who your main characters are.
It's Idris Elba. It's Robert Dubois. It's Bloodshot. And this was the sudden reveal that there is a heart and a core to this movie that goes beyond. It's just a bunch of DC offshoot characters being put through a meat grinder. So it was nice to see that kind of there's something going on here. They're trying to keep it grounded with Idris Elba's character and his daughter, and obviously she seems to be in some sort of trouble with law, and maybe the Suicide Squad is his way of getting her out of that trouble, but also putting himself at risk. So there is this kind of human center to this movie that is also about giant starfish and man sharks.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll still get, there was still those comedy beats in there because you had the John Cena's Peacemaker, by the way, looks like he's going to be one of the real shining stars of this movie. Has that line when he's like, it's giant starfish. It's also known as a butthole. Do you think there's any connection there?
Goodness me. I love how they've already gone off and been like, he's getting a spin-off. He's getting his own thing. They clearly know that he's going to be one of the standout characters. I think also, what's the giant shark called? Man shark?
King Shark.
King Shark, that's it. King Shark, I think he's also going to be one of those characters that hopefully survives the film, because I feel like he's this film's Groot.
Or is it going to be spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy, is it going to be the Groot thing of you get really attached to the big dumb animal thing and then it gets killed in some sort of self-sacrifice moment, and we'll have him say his final word, it would just be hand, and then that'll lead to his demise.
I hope not. I hope he lives forever because he's brilliant. And this also gave you a bit more of an idea of what the actual project is for the Suicide Squad here. They've got to infiltrate Project Starro, which is a Project Starfish, but to do with Starro, who is the giant starfish from outer space that is psychic and wants to conquer the universe. And that was the big kaiju thing that we saw in the first trailer. Yeah, the villain is as stupid as the heroes, fortunately.
Yeah, it's funny as well that we're getting Starro here and doing that, because we just had the rumors that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the main villain of that is going to be Shuma-Gorath, which is essentially Marvel's version of that character. So when I first saw it, my brain was like, oh, it's Shuma-Gorath, I used to play as on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So could be very, very funny and so weird that we're going to get both versions of that character in films basically within a year of each other.
Yeah, Marvel and DC have always loved to be interlocking at all times, and also while also growling at each other. But this is the perfect example. And I think James Gunn is the man to bring that to the screen. If anyone can make a giant starfish look like a threat, it's James Gunn. I think he'll manage to do it.
I loved the reveal of it in the first trailer, and here seeing it a bit more in action, finding a bit more about it. I'm really stoked for this movie. I've always been a big fan of James Gunn's work, and the stuff that he's done within the MCU has only really put that over even further. So I am so curious to see what's going to happen, because I would wager that DC and Warner Brothers have just sort of like Marvel did, let him off the shackles and just be like, hey, do you know what's not going to be here? A buttload of studio involvement. Make the movie that you want to make. And damn, man, this looks like the movie he wanted to make.
And I think what's really nice about this trailer as well, and I think what works about his kind of ensemble cast movies is that, like, yes, he does very good action scenes. Like, the action is always fun, but it's always quite grounded in like who the characters are. And if they're quite silly characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's always quite a funny combat scene. But it's those quiet moments that really allow all the characters to shine and get their jokes in, and like you get that sense of who they are. And this revealed all these kind of like smaller moments, like in the auditorium. I know we've seen that before, but like also they're clearly on a stakeout at one point. I cannot wait to see the stakeout scene when it's like, get off the comms to King Shark.
Yeah.
Like those, it's the moments where people are doing what they're not built for that really make these films sing. And I think that's the point, is like having a shark be on the lookout is just genius.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy there, and sort of like how his ensemble cast thing, and that's very much what this film feels like. Whereas Guardians of the Galaxy 2 grew that ensemble cast, the Suicide Squad has just grown that out even more. It's like, well, Guardians of the Galaxy had 5 of these people. The Suicide Squad has got 20 of these people, and we're all going to get our lines in. And I mean, what a cast it is as well. Super, super excited for this movie. I'm curious to get your thoughts on the Snake Eyes trailer that we got. I am a child of the 80s. I am also, a millennial that is obsessed with nostalgia. So, like, this movie looks like it's fairly much made for me. It's like, hey, it's a G.I. Joe movie. Oh, but it's an origin story. Look, we've got Cobra references in there. Oh, the Baroness is here. So, like, it feels like this is very much made for, like, my nostalgic loving senses. What did you make of it?
Look, I was never really a GI Joe guy. I was always more. I know GI Joe and Transformers did plenty of crossovers back in the day, but I was always much more firmly on the Transformers side of things. So GI Joe kind of passed me by. But this looks a lot of fun. I love the kind of. I think choosing Snake Eyes being one of the most popular characters from GI Joe and doing that origin story where you transplant this kind of, what feels like a very all-American hero service and take it over to Japan, you get that kind of different side of the origin story and a completely different aesthetic to the whole thing as well. Really makes it kind of look like it's going to be a good expansion of that universe. And yeah, gives you that pure focus on the really cool cyber ninja guy. That's what you want. That's what you really, that's what fans want. People want more of the cool masked ninja man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but wonderful in that Hollywood sense as well. It's like, well, it's a very cool masked character, so we better take the mask off of him at all opportunities, because we've got Henry Golding in the lead role, and he's a handsome devil, so we can't have him behind a mask this entire thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And then you make up reasons for the mask to be like, it's retractable. It can go on and off. It's fine. It's like Lost in Space again, where Matt LeBlanc kept having to take the helmet off. And it's like, stop taking the helmet off. You're in space, you idiot. You can't breathe.
But this has got another really good cast, like Samara Weaving. Oh, I really, really like Samara Weaving. She's been doing some fabulous, fabulous work at the moment. I loved her in Bill and Ted last year. She is someone whose star is on just completely on the up and up and up. So I'm really excited to see her in like this big sort of budget role in essentially, the second lead of the movie.
Yeah, I think Samara Weaving is proving herself to be one of those amazing all-rounders in cinema as well, because she's obviously she's done comedy with Bill and Ted. She's done a lot of like serious roles. She did the Picnic at Hang Rock TV series, which if you've not seen, is fantastic and very like dead serious. And she's obviously done like horror with The Babysitter and all that kind of stuff. And now we're kind of going into action, and that will probably just be something that she takes to completely naturally as well, because she's going to be everywhere for the next couple of years at least.
And speaking of being everywhere for the next couple of years, if reports are to be believed, this Snake Eyes movie is going to be the first step in what Hasbro would like to be a big expanded shared universe of movies. So we're like with G.I. Joe and Mask and ROM and Micronauts and sort of like all of those licenses they may not have made massive amounts of money on because they're not as well known as G.I. Joe and Transformers, but being able to use this perhaps a little backdoor pilots, so to speak, because we've got, they've announced the new Transformers movie. We're getting the next live action one based around Beast Wars. So I wonder if this is going to be Hasbro really starting to get their ducks in a row. I thought you might be excited about the Beast Wars movie.
Love Beast Wars.
We just talked about John Cena in the Suicide Squad there. He's on the big screen this week. You can now go and check out Fast and Furious 9. Yes, that's right, folks, 9th entry in the Fast and Furious saga. We've been saying the last few weeks that I've been dead excited to go and see this movie. Has any of your excitement waned, or has it just grown even more?
I'm super keen to see this. Like, I was thinking then when you're saying like this is the ninth entry. And I know obviously the 9 is in the title, but like, who would have thought we would be this far into this franchise at this point? Who would have like, if you'd have called that on the first film, you would be in for some serious money if you'd made a bet on that. Because my God, they looked dire for a little while, and then suddenly there's just been this upward tick, and they worked out the formula, and the formula is to get more and more ludicrous, to disobey the physics of reality more and more with every time you make a film. And like, yeah, this is the premiere action that you're going to see in terms of like things exploding, smashing through each other, and speed on screen. This is what cinemas were built for.
Oh yeah, and like we've got a variety of ways to see this as well. You can go see this on IMAX, you can go see this on 4DX, on the expansive super screen that's now available. Like we've got Dan Layton later on in this show taking us through 4DX, which I think is going to be a really interesting way to check out this movie. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick yet, though.
I think 4DX for me. I think 4DX is the one, because this is one of those films that's like perfectly made for that slight bit of like extra motion that comes with the seats and all that kind of stuff. Like this is something where, like, you know, if you could smell the petrol, like that just gives you that extra bit of like, oh, I'm there, I'm in this. And yeah, I think movement in a car film and that feeling of like acceleration is something they could do really, really well on the 4DX screen. So yeah, I'd be well keen for that.
Something for the kids: D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds. This film got announced like a couple of years ago, and like I know like Simon Brewer Film Stories was massively behind a lot of this and being like, you know, like time to get excited. But yeah, it's finally here. D'Artagnan back up on the big screen.
I still can't get over the fact they're not called the Musketeers. It still annoys me. But Muskehounds, yeah, I'm sure kids will love it. It's all like, I'm so annoyed by the Musketeers thing that I'm sure kids will love it. I'm sure they'll also oversee the flaw in the title.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, so you've got Fast and Furious for your action heads. We've got the Three Muskehounds, or the Three Musketeers, if you'd prefer, for the kids. For everyone else, Supernova gets its official releasing. Our unlimited screening of this was just on Wednesday. We're actually recording this on the Wednesday as well, so we haven't seen what people have made of the movie yet, but there is a link down below that will take you through to the Cineworld blog where you can go check out the reviews that we usually read out. But I'm seeing it tonight at the unlimited screening, and I'm not sure I'm emotionally ready yet to go and see this movie.
It looks, yeah, like an incredible moving bit of cinema, and also something that's going to make you fall in love with the UK countryside. I think that's the other thing about it. It looks like it's a lovely tour around some lovely places, and you've got Stanley Tucci and Colin Firth putting on a masterclass in the lead roles, and you know, just having a very like I think you don't see a middle-aged sort of gay relationship like that on screen done like this, and so I think that's kind of something quite unique and excellent for Pride Month as well.
Indeed it is. You can also go check out In the Heights, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Quiet Place 2, Monster Hunter, and The Father. They are also available for you to go and check out. What is your pick of the week?
Pick of the week this week. Well, I went for Monster Hunter last week. So I think this week I'm probably going to go for either Supernova or In the Heights, which I'm going to go see on the weekend. So yeah, maybe In the Heights, because I'm going to get hyped for that.
Yeah, I went to check out In the Heights last weekend and loved it, by the way. Good Lord, that's a lot of fun. That is a bright summer movie, and it made me feel all the feels. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So I think for me, I'm going to go with, it may be the obvious choice, but I'm going Fast and Furious 9 this week. Cannot wait to go and see that. But speaking of getting on the hype train, you can now pre-book your tickets to go see Marvel's Black Widow. Finally, it's here. We can all go and check it out. I'm super duper excited. Also, it's the first film of this year to be shown on Screen X. We might do some stuff on Screen X next week, I think, in What Songs. We're going to focus on 4DX this week. But yeah, I think I may get my tickets to go see this on Screen X.
I think that would be wise. I think you want to go for the kind of like what's the biggest you can see this film in? What's the most you can enjoy this film in? Because it's been so long since we've seen a Marvel film in the cinema, and yeah, this is the big return to the cinema for the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Avengers Endgame. You know, I know obviously like we did have Spider-Man, but I feel like Spider-Man sort of still doesn't quite count.
It's not.
It still doesn't quite count.
Doesn't quite count, does it? No, this is our
And I
first
think
proper MCU movie.
And obviously we've had other Marvel media going on in the meantime that has sort of I teased the idea of what stories are to come, but this is going to be like something that I think reveals a bit more, like we've said, about what's previously happened in the Marvel universe because it's set in the past, but also is going to open up some new avenues that will be explored in later movies, no doubt, because Black Widow is going to have her hands on all sorts of top secret documents.
You can also pre-book your tickets to see this on IMAX and also 4DX. But to tell us a little bit more about 4DX, here is Cinemania contestant and definitely has not been a winner of it, Dan Layton.
Hello Cineworlders, Daniel J. Layton here to take you behind the screens and uncover some of the movie magic that goes into 4DX. 4DX is actually the latest in a long evolution of 4D film presentation. It's a process that goes back decades, so strap in, let's take a walk down memory lane. 4D cinema is defined as the combination of a 2D or 3D film with physical effects that occur in sync with the image on screen. The first commercial 4D film was The Sensorium, which debuted at a Six Flags in Baltimore in 1984. Heard of Smell-O-Vision? Don't worry if you haven't, it was only used in one movie, 1960's Scent of Mystery, but this was one of the earliest examples of 4D technology. Sensorround debuted in 1974 with the film Earthquake, and it was replaced in 1977 by Dolby Stereo, which made subwoofers a common addition to cinema. The director William Castle was an early practitioner of 4D technology in the 50s and 60s. His film The Tingler, starring Vincent Price, induced mild electric shocks into the audience, which is one way to stop you drifting off mid-film. So what's the difference between 4DX, 3D and 2D? Well, if we think of 2D as the standard flat image cinema projection, and 3D uses stereoscopy to create the illusion of a three-dimensional image, 4DX builds on that to provide a multi-sensory cinema experience. The format uses a variety of special effects, including vibrating and moving chairs, synced to immerse us in the physical world of our favourite movies, whether that's the car chase in the latest Fast and Furious blockbuster, or the hero-on-villain epic battle in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But movement doesn't really do it justice. These seats, they roll, they heave, they twist, they shake, they backkick. It's all to make you feel every jolt, every punch, every hair-raising Hollywood escape.
We've got one more unlimited screening for the month yet to come, which will be next Tuesday to go check out another round. So make sure you get your Cineworld Cinema Unlimited card to go check this out. This is one I've heard a lot about. We spoke briefly about it a couple of weeks ago because they're doing a remake of it with Leonardo DiCaprio. Mm-hmm. But I think I definitely want to go see the original version first. A, I love Mads Mikkelsen. And B, everyone loves Mads Mikkelsen, and B, you always want to see the original, right? And this is a film I'm super, super excited to see.
I think also seeing Mads Mikkelsen in like a role that leans heavily on comedy is something that's just going to be fascinating to watch. And obviously, like it being a Danish film, like seeing it kind of as it was intended will be a very interesting way to see it before you go and then see how the Americanized version changes everything about it fundamentally. I think it's a really interesting premise. I think Mads Mikkelsen is such an inspired choice of casting as well, because like he always plays characters normally that just have like some sort of otherworldliness to them. Like I don't like, he always has some sort of like outlandish presence. To see him be like a regular guy is quite an honor, really, I think.
Absolutely, and you can get your tickets to go see another round at the Unlimited screening on June 29th using the link in the video description down below. And lastly, before we get out of here, boy, have we got an offer for you, because, sorry, have you ever fancied seeing yourself up on the big screen?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, we all have, right? And you're an Unlimited card holder.
I am an Unlimited card holder.
Well, did you know then that you could be part of Cineworld's Make Me a Star campaign, which is open to unlimited members who are 18 and over and are free on the 8th and 9th of July to be filmed in Nottinghamshire. Hey, that's in of itself, because I am free on those dates. I am over 18 and I have got myself an unlimited card. So it feels like this is going to be a pretty good thing to go to, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm booking my train tickets right now.
Well, on top of all of that, on top of all of those bragging rights, going there and being there for the filming, you're going to get yourselves £200 of gift card. That's an incredible. Like, I mean, that's paid for your train fare, right? Like, and then some.
That is a good amount of movies to go see with a friend. It's even more movies to go see on your own.
Oh yeah, it is, right? Oh,
jibbing your friends off and go on your own.
And as an unlimited card owner as well, go into this. You've basically got £200 to spend on sweets.
Oh my god, that is so much popcorn, Luke. That is so much popcorn.
You'd have told me when I was like 13, like, you know, you get £200 worth of popcorn. Oh man. And actually,
well, I mean, because you can also then just go see everything as well in the highest quality. You can go on your 4DXs and your Screen Xs and just use your gift card for your upgrades.
Oh, absolutely love it. But you've got to be quick. So there is a link in the video description down below. The deadline for this is June 27th. So that is very, very soon. You've got to be very, very quick to get on this because, man, I tell you what, I'm going to be trying to get on this.
Luke's going to be eating a lot of popcorn. Otherwise, stop him, please.
But that is all we've got time for on this edition of What's On at Cineworld Cinemas. I've been Luke and this has been Laurie Blake, and that is What's On.